All right, how y'all doing today? I hope y'all having a wonderful day. I know I am. Um, I have some ideas over here that I want to get going. Now, I know in my first video I said that I wanted to record myself day trading, at least getting some practice in and documenting it. Once a week, maybe twice. But I don't think that's going to happen. It's probably going to be more like once every other week or something. If I'm lucky, I can do once a week. But yeah, most of my time that I spent last week is just on, well, for the past 2 weeks, it's been charting. This is my long-term investment over here. This is Clover Health. They are they're pretty much the Tesla of the medical health industry, right? So they got this thing called the Clover Assistant, and what it does is it helps diagnose illnesses quicker, and it's more efficient when it comes down to the payroll. Saves money, and there are 10,000 Americans every day retiring that's going to need help, and this actually goes after the poor people rather than the higher up, the the people that are more rich and whatnot. Um, but being said, they're going to be able to generate revenue off of someone, you know, someone would have or a company would have trouble making money off of, right? As well as collecting the data. I'm thinking that's one of the most important things: is collecting the data and perfecting the artificial intelligence to give better and better results. And I think over time it's going to like build on itself, and it's just going to be like really dependable, and it's probably going to be pushed into different areas of the healthcare industry. It might even go to dental, who knows, or around the world. I mean, there's so much potential for it. It's like saying that ChatGPT was designed for one thing only. It can't, be a part of other things. That's bullshit. These things they can grow and evolve and they can mature, right? And you got, this starting off. It's like it's a baby phase right now, and I believe over time it's just going to only get smarter, faster, stronger, right? Smarter, faster, stronger. Let's go. And yeah, and it's the only one that I'm, aware of that's tackling these major issues. And the government, it's definitely involved into it. So that's the one up, regardless if you're a Democrat or Republican, independent. There's more independents there are than, the Democrat and the Republican. I think the independent party is greater, right? And this is what you need. You need, you need both sides to come together, right? And think on answers, not on problems, right? And AI is going to be there to help guide, to answers rather than trying to create conflict. Um, so being said, yeah, everyone gets old, everyone gets sick, everyone needs attention when it comes to those things, and you always got to think of the greater good. So that's where I'm at on it. And this is the charting part of it, right? You got the fundamental analysis, you got the technical analysis. I've been through the fundamental analysis before. I haven't published it. I will in the future. But as of right now, I'm doing the technical analysis part because I find this to be more demanding when it comes down to you understanding the planning, the method, the tools. There's so many different ones out there you can choose from. So, it's just like whichever one best fits you, best fits your way of thinking and stuff, how you're going to be able to utilize it. Um, so this is psychoanalysis right here, right? You could probably learn about it if you want to through Ask Slim. I don't think anybody else out there is doing it, but yeah, Slim, I think he's a pro at it, and that's where I'm, how I learned and how I'm learning. So this is the weekly chart right here. This is going to be the weekly projection. This is the daily projection. The minor cycles are going to be within the daily cycle. Now, this blue one is what I created. It hasn't been tested yet, forward tested. It's currently been back tested, but you know, the vanilla version is the key one to go with, right? That's the one that's proven more or less. But I call this because I influenced it with the algorithmic charts that I have, right? The algo waves that I have, right? So I influenced it, you know, with into the psychoanalysis. So I call it the algorithmic influence psychoanalysis projection. I mean, that's what it is, right? It's pretty much AI cap. Like, let me put my AI cap on, right? I think it's funny, but so these here are me describing my sentiment on it, right? Bearish, bullish, or caution, right? I think it makes sense. Yellow, it's like a stoplight, right? Green, red, and yellow, right? So I think it's going to consolidate and go sideways right here. I believe that the next trough is going to be more of a left-handed translation than a right-handed translation. Right-handed translation is higher highs, higher lows. Left-handed translation is lower lows, lower highs. And that's the cycle. This is money flows, right? Algorithmic influenced money flows, I guess, right? Um, this is where I see or how I see it unfolding. As far as the price, we're probably gonna have to pull out Fibonacci charts, Fibonacci projections, right, to kind of understand where it could go. Again, I don't like too much clutter on the screen. I know it's bad as it is right now. It could be worse, though. Trust me, it could be worse. I cleaned it up a little bit, right? I need to clean it up a little bit more. Um, so yeah, the weekly's over here, the daily's over here, and let me turn on there you go, cameras on. Yeah, so the weekly is over here, the daily's over here, right? And the idea. Oh, another important fact. Right here, Vivek, right, bought, was it $1 million? Yeah, $1 million worth of shares, and that's definitely a positive thing. That's going to be a bullish, no matter how anybody wants to cut the pie. It's how anybody wants to present the information. Him buying, insider buying is bullish. Period. No insider wants to say, "Well, my company's going to hell. Let me go ahead and buy some shares." Right? Yeah, but my company's going down. I'm the guy. I know all about this. I work here. Let me buy some shares. That way I can lose some money. All right? Who's going to do that? It's fucking retarded. How bullish is it? I'll tell you how bullish it is. He knows he's an insider, right? He's going to make money off of this. That's how bullish it is, and it's going to. He ain't got to sell any of his shares. He's making two bets on the same thing, So that's the way I see it. And I believe that that's probably going to be the new bottom. That's what I think, right? I think that this one he paid $1.14, right? So I believe that $1.14 is going to be an area, right, of support. Okay, so the question is that will that be the top of the support or the bottom of the support, right? So there is a range that I'm thinking about. We'll say 15, right, to $1, right? It's going to be the low end. The bar is small, right? The bar on the high side, I believe, is going to be 15 cents, $1.15 to 30 cents on the high side, right? Now, the question is that will it bounce off of that area and just like consolidate right there, right? Will it, create a duration of time, space, right? This is space, right? From here to there. Like this is the space where I believe it's going to be focused on to a bottoming scenario right there. Pinpoint it, right? Zoom in on it right there. And I have it set up to the vanilla cycle analysis, which is the dollar. I mean the dollar, which is the 27th, and my creation, right, which is going to be on the 5th, right. So we'll see how time, plays out. We'll see, you know, what if it's worth anything, pretty much. Another thing too, right? Got this green line here for a reason. Okay. Um, this is the weekly cycles as of now, and then these are the daily cycles as of now. These are the weekly cycles, right? Um, Now they don't line up. And you can see how they're like, this one's here, this one's there. We're not going to include the algorithmic one. This one, it did hit here though. You see that? They both came in. Some that trough was both coming down at the same exact time, right? And that's going to be an important area. And look what it did afterwards. Boom, right? So this was the low of the candle, right? Which is going to be at the low is 81 cents, right? And it ended, the low was 89 cents. Now, by textbook definition, right, that is considered a right hand translation because one point was lower than the other point, right? So if this point was lower than this point, then this is a right hand translation. Even if it's by a few cents, it's still technically by the definition, right? That's a right-handed translation. It would have to be the end of the cycle would have to be lower than the beginning of the cycle in order to be a lower low, lower high, which would be a left-handed translation by definition, right? So yes, that's a right-handed translation, even though it's well over here to there, even though it's a small one, right? So now we go here. We have it again. Another one. Another opportunity is revealing itself right here. This is when the weekly comes into the daily simultaneously. Now, I like to space it out at least around, was it 1, 2, 3 days on the weekly and 4 days on the daily, right? As a margin of error, right? So I do 3 bars, 3 weeks. That's a margin of error on the positive end, on the right hand side and the left hand side of the trough, right? It's a margin of error, right? And ditto, the uh, for the daily. Daily, pretty much. I think I got myself 4 days, some margin of error on both sides of it, right? Now, being said, yeah, I'm just a guy painting pictures over here. I got my crayons out, drawing pictures, right? Coming up with ideas, the way I see things, shaping out and stuff like that, using other indicators, to confirm it, right? To confirm a point. Um, so none of this is financial advice. This is just me sitting here, talking about the things I see, you know, and if you need financial advice, you need to go somewhere else, pretty much. Um, but you can't sit here, take from what I've learned, right? This is all my learning progress. This is all me just documenting my ideas, So it's a learning lesson for me, and I just want to be able to have it to go back on it. Maybe research if I went wrong somewhere in there in the future. Research it in the past to figure out where I went wrong. Right. Um, so yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it. Um, Now I have my sentiment here as well. Right. I believe that this one was going to be more influence to the negative side. This one was going to be, consolidating somewhat, and this one should be a right-handed translation, right? Um, so that's yet to be seen. We'll see how it transpires in the future. But yeah, this is my long-term play, right? The daily one, that's just to understand if I'm doing it right, right? The weekly one, more, paying attention more to that one, right? Because I'm going to be holding this thing for like 2030. Add shares. This is these charts are more for protection use. I'm utilizing these tools for protection, right? As well as buying opportunities. So, even though they're day trading tools, they're, trading tools, I'm going to use them instead of, as offense tools, I'm going to use them as defensive tools, right? So that way I'm protecting myself. I know I'm not going to sell shares, do some covered calls, and when I feel, confident enough to do it, at a point in time where it's significant enough, that's how I'm going to end up using this, right? Since this is my long-term investment, this is going to be the defense version of an offense version, if that makes any sense. Um, you got to be able to look at things, through different lenses. Sometimes you just can't be focused on one lens. That's what I don't like about Discord chat groups and different companies that like they're specialists on the tools that they offer, but they don't contribute. They don't want to. They don't want no contributing factors coming from other tools. They're delete your post or ban you or say, well, you shouldn't be talking about somebody else's product around here. I'm thinking about creating one where we can all talk about different versions of this guy's product and that guy's product and him and here, Tom, Dick, and Harry come together in one and discuss our different ideas, using, this, using, what is it? Any of them, right? Any of these things. So, and not be biased about, the subject, just take in the information. The most important part is the information, regardless of where it comes from, you know. But anyways, yeah, most discourse, they're biased. They want you to only use theirs, can't use others. They're kick you for it or suspend you or whatever. Some stupid shit, right? I don't know. I think great minds need to come together, regardless if it goes against the idea, right, of someone else's product. Stupid, but I'm done ranting about that. Anyway, being said, I got like this memo here. It says if the whale dump, you know, breaches my 50% marker here, that's going to be at the right time. You see right here, I missed, right, and it breached it here. I put a crown there, because the people that bought here are winners. They're kings and queens, and I'm not. I'm not. I get a token, right? Just for knowing it, just for seeing it happen without participating, right? I get a token. I get a token of a crown on my chart. That's my token right there. All right, I earned that token. Okay, but yeah. Nevertheless, I other than this right here, right, this and this, right. Um, this is also the weekly. This is the weekly. The next one is over here. It's going to be on the 18th of February. So, what? Let's see here. There was something else. Okay, yeah. I created if the algorithmic influence psychoanalysis projection is significant, right? If it means anything, then they don't line together here on the daily. There's a big gap between them, right? But it's closer here, right? So it's closer here. So there's a green dot. So if it matters, then it should matter here rather than here. It shouldn't really matter here, but it would matter here. So I'm gonna put that there for future, references for future outlook, for the future. All right. So yeah, um, there are there is one other thing that I want to point out here. Okay, so the capital, right, and the amount, right, of buying and selling, right, here, 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 here. Now you can see that these are 2%. There's a 1%, right? 21311. Okay, so you got a capital. What's that? 36 million, 32 million, 67 million. Right. Then you got the sentiment. Right. You got the buying and selling. Right. A little bit more buying than selling. Right. But overall, it broke it, which turned it red. Right. Because now it's resistance instead of, every support that's broken becomes resistance, and every resistance that's broken becomes support. Right. So that's how that works. And there was more buying than there was buying, more buying, right? 2%, 1%. Then you come down here, there was a lot more buying than selling, right? 2%, 37 mil, right? That's equal to this one and this one pretty much. You got 34. There's no really big difference. That's the reason why it's a 1%, 1, 2. They're pretty close, right? But when you get like a 3%, you're kind of going a little bit further with it. You're going 3%. So if you got a scale, right, of of 100%, you're chopping it up, right, for all these orders, right, and then you would get a percentage rate for each order, right? You have to divide it. It's like a pie. You're cutting it up into different pieces, right? And dividing it into pie, right? And I got it maxed out, so it's going to see all of it from top to bottom, right? Um, so if we look at it, right, I believe that most of the significant selling is going to be where this low price is currently at. I believe that. As we break important barriers, right, going up, right, we're going to see less and less strength to the bearish side, you know. Um, but there are some important ones to keep an eye on, right? Now, this is the only 4% out of all of them, right? You got 3%, that's significant ish. That was around you can put this one in, you can't really see it here, so $1.07, that's a 1%. This is strong high, that's the high level, so it's saying that, you know, that's where it needs some resistance overall. If you were to create one giant, block order from that level to the bottom, right? Or, from a higher level to the bottom, that would be where the resistance would be. That would be the block order, right? Um, okay. So, yeah, this one has a lot of buying. This one has a lot of selling, right? You got this 4% here, which I would consider the 4% to be more significant than the three quarters, right? It's definitely more significant than these ones we see here, right? So if we break the $2 range right here, it's going to be, I believe, a point of interest, right? If we break that, I think it's gonna shoot up to the 4%, right? And if you look at the 4% on the top end of it, I mean, it has more buying pressure than selling pressure, right? So the top of it is around 350. I believe with the sentiment being more buying than selling, and if we break the two, we should shoot up to at least $3 to $3.50, right? And maybe even a little bit further, you know, and then maybe back test the 3 to 350. Let's take a look at what we've got here. So that sounds stupid. Let's change that. Go to the next one. I really don't care. It's just needed something in the background. Um, so yeah, here goes a 14 and an 18 and a 26, right? This is where shit really starts to get fucking real, right? Um, I think this is going to be where the resistance really starts kicking in, right? But if we can break through, the significant resistance in our little area, time and space, right, where we're at, right, we should be able to gain momentum going up, breaking through these lower bars, these 4%, 2%, these trash levels of resistance, right? So we start knocking out like the 4%, right? We should break into another 4%. We should throw away the 1%. It's like they were fucking garbage. And then until we hit something of significance, right? It's going to be like this, this 14% right here, right? That's like at around what? You call the top at $7 and the bottom at like 650. So, but then if you look at it right here, you got a 4 and a 5%. That's kind of significant. I mean, you had ones and twos down here. I wouldn't be surprised if it breaks through this block order, finds resistance here, and it fails that and retests this here. And then, right, we will see where price is going. Because if it could hold this as support and then bust through the $8 level or the what's the top of it? The 8,670, the middle is 8. Yeah. 8, pretty much the 8s, right? If it could bust through that, then it's going to test the fucking, the 1050 or 11, 10 to $11 range. It's going to test that. It's going to go from 8 to 10 to 11, right? And then we'll see what happens. It might go sideways right here, consolidate for a while, then shoot up to the next resistance, which is going to be, let's pull it down. And these are significant amounts, right here. You can say the bottom end is going to be like 14 to about 15. So yeah, and after that, I'm not even going to look up there because that's not even significant. It is significant, but it's not realistic at this point in time. So let's try to be realist here, right? And come back down to earth, find out where we're currently at again. So yeah, we need to get to that. We need to pass this right here. We need to call this support at $2, right? We need to. Hopefully, we already call this support, the 120 level. We call that support. Then we need to call this support right here at $2. Then we can start talking. Once we get to the $2 level, then we can start talking about, fucking it going higher. 350. Then from 350 to $8 because there's a big ass hole right there. You could call that a gap down if you really look at it. Because all these 1% and those 2% at that level, you can call this whole price action right here all the way down, a gap down, and then a rebound a little bit, and then never fill the gap. That's the way I'm looking at this. I'm calling this a gap. So yeah, $3 past 350, going to 8, going to 8. We'll see what happens then. So yeah, this is my long-term investment. This is not financial advice, guys. This will never be. I will never be a financial advisor. Well, can't say never, but I'm not a financial advisor. If you want financial advice, you're going to have to go elsewhere, period. Okay? This is just me, my thoughts, the way I see it. I'm building a puzzle here, right? I got my crayon box out, okay? So this is some retarded guy on here with a crayon box, just looking at shit, trying to, speak nonsense, okay? Yeah, so I'm pretty much going to come to a conclusion on this, on my Clover Health. It's a long-term investment. 2030 should be a really good time. Really good time. My fundamental analysis, my intrinsic value calculation, discounted cash flow, suggests that we could see. I haven't got those charts out yet. I'll do that one day in the future, right? Suggest that we could see prices as high as you know who said high projection $40. Yeah, $40 in 5 years. How about that? $40 in 5 years. What do you think about that? Not financial advice, just my intrinsic value calculation. Okay. Um, you implement the SaaS feature. Okay. Where are we going after that? Have to think about that. Um, so, yeah, this is the long term play. If you want to know about these indicators stuff, you could always drop a message. I could probably help you out, guide you a little bit, maybe. Show at least tell you what something that I know. Maybe you could tell me something that I don't know. Shit, drop a message. Hit a like button. Do something, right? No, don't do anything at all. I don't want people to know about what I'm doing over here. Shh. Right. All right. So yeah, that is my protection here. I use this as a defensive tool for my long-term investments. That's what this is. Defense right here, long term. Now, offensive, right? Trader, right? Day trader, scalper, swing trader. Talking about swing trading, I think the small caps are going to outperform the the overall industries, the big boys, right? S&P 500, right? I think they're going to outperform, especially if we see spin. If you do some research, you can see that most of the time when the Fed pivots, right, the market tends to go down. I don't know which one came first. Is it the market goes down and then the Fed, right, is forced to act, right? So they are like linked like this, where chicken or the egg, right? Um, are they, linked to? That's kind of weird. I hope you guys can see this because I only can see myself on this chart. Huh. Okay. Well, nevertheless, pointing out the Russell 2000 triple leverage because it's for trading, right? Um, and I have levels here, buying interest, right? And then I like to average in and average out of my swing trading, right? And I got the 3 hour charts. You want to be guided by the long term or the longer term, time frame, and then make the moves on the shorter term time frame. So this is my swing trade idea that I have set out here. I'm going to try it, see how if I could actually accomplish making a really good swing trade. So these are the points of interest I have here of adding. I like to do with threes, right? One, two, three, right? Rotate in, rotate out on trading, swing trading. Sometimes I do it on, I've my paper trading on the anything that I use. Currently, I'm working on Dogecoin, but so I'm thinking like these levels here, these times here, should be a good time to average in, and then average out around here, you know. But if you look at the daily chart, right? Okay, now I got the smaller linked up with the longer. But I have the longer in red. So this is the daily chart one. This is the hourly one, right? Swing trade. This is the actual daily chart. Area that I was looking at here. So I really don't see it. I see a fluctuation going on here. Volatility. Really don't actually see it. If you want to do it for instead of hours, swing trader with hours. I guess you'd call it. Do it in a daily um, time frame, right? So there would be this probably be a start, then here, then probably here, then averaging within that time frame, unless the indicators start showing different results, then I would have to adjust accordingly, right? Then the weekly, we're not even going to go there. Take this back to the hourly. So yeah, that's what I'm looking at here. You get back over here onto the Clover Health one. So yeah, that's that. And let's do some trading now. If you guys want to see what I got on my list over here, I got all the sectors, their inverse relation, right? But just in case I wanted to trade that, I had that there. Here's some speculative mixed in with it kind of. I need to like organize this. It kind of scatters a little bit, but I had some of the major industries. Then I went to triple leverage ETFs. Then I have Bitcoin and Dogecoin there. Then I have the regular inverse, no leverage. Then I have some volatility, right? Um, then it goes to just some indexes. I love this one right here, right? You know, you guys, if you know anything about VectorVest, they have like the VBC composite, right? And they basically get the Dow Jones, the S&P 500, and the Nasdaq, and they combine them into one, right? They call it VBC, right? Well, I was trying to find something similar to that. Like where can I find that at, right? And have it on my chart, right? Well, the closest thing to it is going to be this Wilshire 5,000 total market index. You really can't get nothing off of that, but you do have the Schwab and the Vanguard that follow it, right? So you can look at this as a mini version of the BBC, right? Because it tracks 5,000 stocks, and I think the VectorVest composite tracks like 8,000 stocks. So it's like 3,000 less, but it's the closest thing to it, right? So that's pretty cool. I like that. And then you got like all these stocks right here that I'm very interested in. These right here, that I want to invest into, but I don't have the money for it, right? So they're just like there. That's trading. Then we start going into currencies. All right, you got the dollar over there. Start going to currencies. I label, put them up here for just to get some experience from them. I wanted to see what was going on. Um, and then you have futures, right? Because futures are very important. Um, we got Mr. Guy going on. He has to use the bathroom, and yeah, but he's going to use the restroom, I suppose. Um, see, we have those. So futures. Well, I'm going to end this video right here and post it, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to do a training video. All right. So I'll see you guys here in a little bit.